Township Trustees council to order. Start the meeting with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Fredo? Mr. McGlynn?
Okay, we'll start off with our introductions from our departments. From the Senior Center, Mr. Rickard. From our Parks Department, Todd Schaefer. Our Fire Department, Andy Frost. Police Department, Bob Cavalier. The man with the zoning, Darren Corelli. Our Administrator and Road Department Supervisor, Mike Dockery. To the right of me, Trustee Jim Davis. To the left, our favorite fiscal officer, and Worthing County. I am Doug Levin. Trustee. Motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of August 26, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes. Next, we would like to have our fire chief come up with Laura and oath of office given to one of our firefighters, Anthony Rita. I think, wow.
Raise your right hand. I, Anthony Rita, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States
That I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and will faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of full-time firefighter
of full-time firefighter
of the Austintown Township Fire Department.
of the Austintown Township Fire Department.
And further resolve
I further resolve
that I will serve the residents of Austintown
that I will serve the residents of Austintown
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
with compassion, courage, and integrity,
and will continue to do so
and continue to do so
during my continuance in office.
during my continuance in office.
Come on up, you just don't get out that easy.
Again, it's just an honor to be able to bring these guys up who have just been incredible. Their dedication is outstanding. They are not some of the workforce is seeing a diminish in ambition, education, and dedication. And we don't have that in our place. AJ is just, since he got there from day one, has just been so dedicated to our department. These guys and women in the back, they've been part of his training. And whenever they said something, AJ was just a sponge. So he hasn't, how long have you been with us part-time? 3 years. So back in the day, you had to be here 8-10 years to get brought over to full-time. But these young guys are just so prepared and so ready. We're very fortunate to be able to have them. So we've had some great hires here in the recent future, in the recent past, and AJ is part of that. So he will be, he's on the ambulance, so he will be there until we hire a few more, and then he'll be out on the truck. So already came trained to us. When it came time for a paramedic program, one of the first ones to step up and said he wanted to do it. So just so dedicated, and I appreciate that so much. So he's a great addition. We're happy to have him.
Pictures. I would like to just say it's great, and he's right, over the past probably year and a half, we've brought a lot of young guys on to the department as the older guys have retired. And it's great because when we bring them on, they're trained and ready to go. And you're certainly no different than the guys who come right before you recently. How many we had new in the last,
Many, there's
at
several.
least 4 or 5?
At least,
Yeah, at least. And again, it's a tribute to the program, it's a tribute to the fire department, and your leadership to get these guys ready, and Assistant Chief, back there, Tim.
Absolutely.
And all of the people who work with the young people in the group. But again, congratulations. We're glad to have you on. If anyone would like, family-wise, you want to introduce some people?
My fiance right there, Tracy, we're getting married actually next week. My mother.
Wait a minute, you just got hired full time. How you got vacation? Are you get married, but there's no honeymoon, right?
Well, it's in Las Vegas, so it's all kind of.
Oh, wow. Okay. Go ahead, I didn't get the invite either.
money for that.
My grandfather, who was once a trustee for Austintown Township back in the 80s.
Anyone else? Would you like pictures with anyone?
You forgot to introduce you.
Got him, Jimmy?
Thank you.
Dad. I know what it's going. What are you gonna do? I'll get to show my grandbabies these.
Just show how old Mr. Schultz is. I think he's retired now. I believe he is.
I can't believe you coached it all. He's not far behind you.
I was saying, listen, and don't talk about being old because somebody hired somebody. I mean, there's a lot of guys in this room that I hired.
Yeah, but I'm getting ready to retire.
Well, yeah, I guess that's what I want to touch on, is that, as much as we tell Chief Cavalier, we tell Chief Frost that they're not allowed to leave until we're done being trustees, we know that I don't want to say their days are numbered, but they're on the very tail end of their careers. Austintown is very fortunate to have the police chief and fire chief that we do. And I can tell you one thing that makes me very proud of the job that they do is the individuals that they've selected and have put in place that we know the day that they leave, that they are leaving this township in a little bit better hands than when they got it. Andy took over for his father, and the legacy that first Chief Frost left, they were big shoes to fill. And I think Andy has carried that burden very well and has done his father very proud. But I will tell you this, there's a guy sitting in the back of the room that's the assistant chief, and someday, who knows, he might be wearing a chief badge. He's going to have some very, very big shoes to fill because you've done just that, Chief. You've hired some great guys and put the great guys in place that when you're ready to leave, this township is in very safe hands. And
Very
Chief Cavalier, you know the same. So
Very, very fortunate.
we are. We're very fortunate to have the guys behind you. And AJ, good luck next week. Congratulations. It's not too late.
I get on the plane, I'm 50/50.
Say, hey, the pool bars out there are a blast. That might be something to do next Saturday. But to both of you, congratulations. Good luck and congratulations on today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And by Monday, he expects you on the job, right?
That's right.
Thank you.
At this time, just one other announcement before I let everyone go who is here for Anthony. I'd like to congratulate Bruce Shepardson, Harold Porter, and Austintown Bounce for 10 years of successful business in the township. Great job. Seems like you've been here a lot more than 10 years, Harold. Doesn't it? Come on up, we got a little proclamation.
One of the fun things we get to do is we get to recognize businesses, and we've been trying to do this more in the township lately with our 4th of July parade. Jim Molnar, who had celebrated 50 years in business, as well as Fernando's Pizza celebrating 50 years. These guys have only done 10, but I know they're going to be around for probably at least another 40 because kids just love what you guys do. It's so much fun to go there. well, that might be something. But, so we have really tried to celebrate businesses in the community. We want to continue to do that. So one of the things that, of course, with doing this, we want to let businesses know that if we can help you celebrate it, we want to. We want to let Austintown know and the surrounding communities know about the great things we got going on. And Austintown Bounce, I can tell you that my daughter just absolutely loves the inflatables. When we go there, or when they're at a parade, or when they're at a birthday party, or whether they're at the fireworks, no matter where, it seems you guys have been a big part. And I don't know if I should make it public is how much you guys donate to the Austintown community. These guys are very selfless when it comes to that. They think of the community first and not their pocketbooks, and they do that. You guys have been a big part of making Austintown great, so that's why we wanted to recognize you on 10 years and say congratulations. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you.
I will say that one thing for Austintown community, they do a lot for different school districts across the country. They're very good at that.
Please take it. All right, we gotta turn this way.
Yeah.
Very good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you, everyone. We appreciate the recognition from the current trustees. We appreciate all the servicemen and department heads. We've dealt with all of you in one fashion or another, and along with the schools, Mr. McGlynn, back in your heyday.
Oh, yeah.
And we're very proud to be part of this community and are looking forward to continuing another, hopefully 30 to 40 years as well.
I've been in that dump tank a few times.
You were floated, didn't you?
Oh, field day. Yeah. Okay, if you guys would all, those who are here just for Anthony, if you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome. Or you can stay the whole meeting, which lasts about 7 hours. Take a brief recess and we'll check your That should be your crowning moment. You should be I mean, let's talk about you leading this entire job. He's driving the golden bullet. Okay, we'll resume the meeting at this point in time with our administrator's report and also our head of our road department and cemetery.
Just two things. One, I received a call from Glenhill, who's putting together our two new trucks. And the reason for the call, they had some questions on where we wanted certain things located in the front seat. So I'm just telling you that because it's on schedule. If they've reached that stage, I would think within the next 30 days they ought to be delivering the two trucks. Second thing, our resurfacing is probably now going to start at the end of September. So like we did a couple years ago, we're going to probably end our project will end the construction season. So we'll probably be busy all October with our resurfacing program.
If you folks remember, we were in a partnership with Canfield for that resurfacing this year. So I think that they started in Canfield and they're coming this way. Correct?
Correct. They also got a contractor with the city of Canfield. And actually, if I had to speculate, I think Boardman probably got out of it with us because a couple times they requested of the contractor to start with Boardman, and for whatever reason, the contractor wanted to start with us. And
Yeah.
I think they were tired of delaying the program, but They ended up with a higher rate than we did too this year.
Right, correct, we saved more money. Okay. Anything else to add for your 130?
No.
Bob, Cavalier, Police Department.
Yeah, nothing to add with the report.
Andy, Mark.
Nothing that,
Chief, if I can ask just quickly, read in the paper there was a fire at one of our apartment complexes. Anything, details on that?
no, there's, we have it under investigation. There's nothing at this time. There appeared to be a couple points of where the ignition was, so we just want to check that out, make sure we're okay, but just an ongoing investigation, nothing really at this time.
Everybody got on it.
Everybody got out, yeah. The only one that was displaced was the people in that apartment, as a mother and her children. Everybody else was able to get back.
Next up, Darren with the zoning report.
I ask the board to approve a motion to declare the following properties a public nuisance under High Code 2723 South Campbell Niles Road. There's a lot of junk and debris out by the curb. It's been there a couple of weeks. We're going to move forward till tomorrow, the next day. 234 Carnegie Avenue, high grass. 3895 Dunbar, high grass. 269 South Edge Hill, high grass and junk and debris. 445 Forest Hill, high grass and junk and debris. 188 Idaho Road, a site obstruction. 5860 Kirk Road, junk and debris. 1848 Lancaster Drive, high grass, downspout. 1863 Lancaster Drive, washing machine and junk and debris. 1866 Lancaster Drive, high grass. 4508 Hunting Avenue, high grass. 5677 Hunting Avenue, high grass. 83 North Main Street, high grass, and junk and debris. 4504 New Road, high grass. 4525 New Road, high grass. 96 South Raccoon Road, high grass. 153 North Raccoon, high grass. 143 Rosemont, junk and debris. 147 Rosemont, high grass and junk and debris. 5628 Tulane, high grass and junk and debris.
So moved.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Okay, I'd ask the board to approve a motion regarding the following motor vehicle meet the following criteria. 3 model years or older, apparently inoperable, extensively damaged, including but not limited to any of the following: missing wheels, tires, engine, transmission, and declare the following vehicles public nuisance under Ohio Code 505.871 and order the removal of junk vehicles within 14 days after notice is served to the property owners. 4494 Mahoning Avenue, an inoperable 2012 Chevrolet four-door with an expired license plate HCZ 6058 parked in exposed manner at the east side of the retail building at 153 North Raccoon. An inoperable white Infiniti light with an expired license plate HIZ 6598 parked in exposed manner within the front yard.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes.
That's all I have for the board.
If I may, Mr. Vice Chairman, 2 things. Number one, I would like to, and I'm going to do this publicly, because I was a pain in his rear end about this, so I want to publicly thank you for removing the clothing drop box behind the family video in the plaza on Kirk Road, Raccoon. That became a garbage dumping site. The clothing drop boxes in our community, we actually instituted a fee for people to put those in and started to try to regulate them to a degree. This one became practically a dumping ground where people were not just leaving clothes, and instead of putting them inside, they were leaving them on the outside, but they were also leaving furniture, chairs, and trash. And I have to drive by it every day, so I became as much of a nuisance to our zoning office as that was a nuisance to our township. So I want to first of all publicly thank you for getting it taken care of and getting it removed. So see, good deeds do not go unnoticed. And then number two, I had a question because it was brought to my attention. We had a public hearing and gave the individual at the corner of 46 and Northwest some time with that house to October, I believe, by October 31st, that home either needed rehab or demolished to be rezoned to business. Now, people have noticed stuff going into the house and nothing being done on the outside. So my question is, where do we stand with that, and can we send him a reminder that he needs to be in compliance by October 31st?
The reminder I already sent maybe 2 weeks ago, advising him as a condition of the rezoning that he had to that date, I believe it was October 31st, either rehab the home or to tear it down. Now, if you recall, he rezoned it to business. So the only thing they can use that for is residential or professional business, professional services, no retail. So he was informed of that, and our position is if he doesn't do it, we have two avenues we can pursue. We could ask the fire inspector to look at the house to see if it meets the demolition criteria. If it does, we will tear it down, we'll lien on the property. If it doesn't, I'll initiate a zone change case, and we'll zone it right back to residential, as long as the board's willing to do that.
I think that was part of the deal we made with
Yeah,
him, so
we made it very clear that we had to do something with that, and I think we were more than generous in giving him almost a year to figure out whether he's going to rehab it or tear it down. So I think the board.
Well, that's why I'm bringing it up, because that's how I feel.
Yeah, I think we're very clear on that feeling and what do you have to do?
Exactly. So, like I said, he did get a letter, I think, a couple of weeks ago. I think I gave him at least a 2-month notice that you need to get moving here. I haven't seen any activity before that.
So somebody just brought it to my attention to look that they felt he was a report. They said, is that an order? Because they saw stuff going into the house and being brought in. And I said, well, as far as I'm concerned, he was trying, what I know, they were trying to turn it into a commercial property, so that we didn't expect that.
Well, we'll have a better idea of where we stand in November.
Okay, thank you. I'm done.
Parks Department, Tom?
I just wanted to announce that on Friday, September 27th, will be our Apple Festival at the Austintown Farmers Market out of the park. That'll be from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And Jungle Terry, his wild animals, will be out there as well for 2 shows during the evening. So I just wanted to invite the public out for that event. And that's all I have.
On September 27th?
Yes, Friday, September 27th, 5 to 8.
Did I also see that our farmer's market, they're having a fun run in October?
Yes, I believe it's October 18th, as well as our public bonfire at the park. I'll have more information on that next week.
Jessica, senior center?
So we got back all of the different crafts and that the seniors have entered into the Campbell Fair. So like we do every year, we always set up a display with all of the senior stuff that they entered, and they're allowed to bring it in. We have it for display for about a month for them to show others. And we had a lot of people enter this year. Lots of crochet, lots of winemaking, wood carving, paintings, other various crafts like that. And we actually had 3 people get first place, 2 people get second place, 8 people get third place, and 4 people got honorable mentions. So the seniors really did well this year, especially the winemaking group. I think out of 13 people entering, 9 of them got ribbons. So it was a really good bumper crop from the wine this year. So the seniors are really proud that their stuff is displayed there. And we've started planning for this year's Christmas party. We've got a date, we've got a location, we've got a time, and a menu, and we're working on entertainment and all that. So it should be another good year for Christmas party in December too.
Christmas party's on there.
Yeah.
Going fast. Okay, our fiscal officer, Laura.
I just have my reports to make.
Okay. I have a motion to accept the August report submitted to the board for review.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Under new business, a motion pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 505.10 to find that the attached listed items of property are not needed for public use, are obsolete, or are unfit for the use for which it was acquired, and the fair market value is less than $2,500.
Make a motion to accept the list as presented.
Second.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. McGlynn?
Yes. Okay, this time is our public response time. We have two types of public response. One is off camera with the camera shut off, and the other is on camera. Would anyone like to speak off camera with the camera turned off this time? No takers? Okay, would anyone like to? Yes, no?
I'd like to say something. Off camera.
Off camera, correct?
Go ahead.
Right, these two. There we go. Sam?
Sam Swagger, 4492 Val Road. First, I'd just like to thank Austintown Police Department for their help. Mr. Robert Bishop passed away, our Pearl Harbor survivor, at 98. And they were kind enough, along with the township, the trustees, to have 4 vehicles there for Mr. Bishop's session. I'd really like to take personally to thank him for doing that. Thank you very much. And Mr. Connolly, I know he don't like to be recognized, but that's fine and dandy. I'll recognize him anyhow for a fine job that he does for 911, which is coming up Wednesday, September 11th. If you're not doing anything out there, come down, meet the man who designed it and had it built. Give him a big hug. So, thank you very much. God bless.
He doesn't like a lot of publicity, does he? I'm saying he doesn't like a lot of publicity.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't. What's that?
You don't like a lot of.
You don't like a lot of publicity.
Didn't want to get up because he's sitting next to his girlfriend. So, this is old, and her fine husband Matt came into town. Thank you.
Yeah, so make sure, for all of you who attend the 9/11 ceremony, it's a great ceremony. Who is your guest speaker this year?
Lieutenant Scourin from the Homeland Security.
Homeland Security, okay. It's a great event. A lot of groups are there. The fire department does a couple nice things at the event. It starts at 6 o'clock Wednesday night at Trustees Park, at 9/11 Park.
Yes, sir.
Which you're very, very much responsible for. And thank you so much for what you do there. Did you want to speak?
Cheer him up, dude.
You going up with them? Or you going up?
Yeah, go up together.
We'd like to welcome back Lisa Oles for all of those folks who remember she's been a trustee for a long time.
Thank you.
Did a lot of great things for Austintown.
Thanks, Donna, I appreciate that.
Pat Conway, 3819 Elwood. Everybody stole all my thunder. I wanted to welcome you to September 11th over there, and Sam has really helped me since this.
That's all you had, sorry.
Pat, we're glad you're going to be there this year. I remember last year you couldn't be there.
Thank you.
So we're glad you're going to be there. Thank you for all you've done with that, Pat. You've done a great job with that. I know Sam's your sidekick. You really do all the work. Lisa?
Well, whenever we had something controversial going on in the township, Jim Davis used to always say to me, bring your popcorn to the meeting. So in case anybody's wondering, I brought the popcorn. I guess I have to provide the entertainment too, right, Jim?
I say it all the time.
That's surprising, Jim.
I tell people all the time, she might be hundreds of miles away, but give her a keyboard and look out.
So it's the season, so I do have to bring up something controversial. And that is, when is trick-or-treating hours this year?
Well, as always, because Austintown wanted to be on the forefront and didn't want to be controversial, we set them, just like when you were trustee, at the very beginning of the year. They are October 31st from 5:30 to 7:30.
That's awesome, because when we used to have them from 6 to 8, the elderly would get upset because the hours were too late, 8 o'clock was too late for them. When we set them from 5 to 7, then the parents were upset because they didn't have enough time to get home from work. So we compromised with the 5:30 to 7:30, and I think those hours are great. I did want to recognize my longtime friend, Pat Conley, for everything that he has contributed to this township. You know, in 2004, the 9/11 Memorial was started, and it was a lot of hard work by a large group of people that came together. Of course, it was Pat's idea from the very start, but as most of you know, that over time, when you're a part of a large organization, you lose a lot of people. And pretty much the committee is down to Pat, some of his family members, and Sam Swatter. It'd be nice, since it's such a focal point in the community, if maybe the National Honor Society can get involved and help with weeding up there. Right now, there is one woman that doesn't even live in the community. Her husband is a doctor in Campfield, and she does come there once in a while to help out. And I think that's so terrific of her to do that. But it's kind of sad that she doesn't even live in the community and she's willing to come here and help. You know, a lot of people in the community that have contributed are getting up in age, and sometimes it's difficult for them to take on a whole project by themselves to maintain it. So I just wanted to recognize Pat and Sam Swatter. Sam does such a wonderful job every year with planning the 9/11 Memorial event, and I wanted to recognize him for that. And of course, I do have to bring up something controversial. I wouldn't be me if I did it, right? So, for those of you that know me, I don't ever throw paperwork away. I just don't. So, I came across this newspaper article from March 31st of 2005, and the headline was, Repovey proposes closure. The councilman also wants to annex Austintown and Boardman into the city of Youngstown. Is this the same Mike Rapovi that's running for Austintown trustee?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. And then you have Dave Engler. Everybody's heard the name Dave Engler, not to be confused with David Ditzler. There's no comparison, okay? But the last time he put his name on the ballot, the only thing is he didn't even live in this community. So hopefully, you know, the residents are aware of that. There's some controversy now whether he lives in the community now or not, but probably not. So then that brings me to Bruce Shepis. Now, Bruce Shepis, celebrating 10 years of being a business owner in this community. You know how many happy children he's made in this community, him and Harold Order? I mean, he does a wonderful job.
Yeah, but they're only 16 and they're not old enough to vote. Because he's only been in business 10 years.
Active with baseball in the community. He's a federal employee. Just a highly recommended, just a highly professional person in the community, and he would represent Austintown well. And I just want to wish him the very best. It's been wonderful connecting with my Austintown family. I hope to see a lot of you tonight at Trax. It's always great to see everyone. My friend Jerry, you probably listen to the Ron Berg show, right?
I try not to. My blood pressure goes up every time I do.
I'm living in Colorado now, but I still listen to Ron Berg. That's the wonderful thing about, you know, the computer. But every now and then, my friend Jerry Blanca will call in. And he's an Austintown resident, and I think he'd be great on the zoning board one day.
We just so might happen to have an event.
But I just wanted to say that I'm glad to be back in Austintown. I've been here for a few days, and I know that, you know, there's some people out there that have complaints, but I have to say, This group of people up here are some of the most dedicated residents in this community. And you guys, I know that your heart's always in the right place. You always do a great job. Doug, I'm sorry to see that you couldn't run again. I hope you enjoyed the time that you were here.
It's been fun.
And it's great to see everyone again. That's it. Thank you.
Can I have another chance?
You want, Pat, you just want to sit there?
Just sit there and talk.
You can sit there and talk.
I want to sit here. You know, there's a lot of people that thank for that memorial down there. And one of them is Todd. Him and his guys. I'll tell you what, they keep that place looking so good. And a lot of people give me the credit, and I don't deserve it because every week when they do better in their houses because I've been by your house. You know? The house looks like hell.
Should we have zoning send him a letter to his house?
I was thinking about that. And this guy sitting next to me, there is no way in hell I can thank him because ever since this happened to me, Sam's been there. But I hope everybody in this township enjoys that park down there. We've had like 28 weddings there. And even a funeral here a week ago, they had a big thing up there for some vet. You know, they asked me how much, I told them, and my daughter went past there, and she said the parking lot was full. And they had all these veterans dressed up in white and everything. But the people really, whether you guys know it or not, they appreciate that park. They really appreciate it. I got 4 books filled with letters that, well, I had to destroy a lot of them because of some of the stuff they write. But it's a great place. And I'm proud that it's in Austintown. And thank you.
Pat, we're especially proud of you and all the work you've done, because it is a beautiful little park.
Thank you.
And you put a lot of work into it, you and your committee and your group. And I'm going to talk with Heather Corselli from the NHS tonight to see if she can get some kids to volunteer. Or should they contact you or Sam?
Right now, we're weed free.
Right now? But for them, they're
Oh,
looking for
yeah,
hours.
anytime they become never trimmed. That's the only thing I ask. I've had a couple people almost destroy that place
Just weed,
with trimming.
weed and picking up stuff. So would they contact you or Sam?
But either one. Both of our names is running
Both are nice.
inside the chapel.
Because their kids have to put in 20 hours of service, so
Yeah.
what better way to put in service than to help with you? Okay, anyone else want to speak?
Jim Johnson, Austintown, Ohio. That's where I live at, Austin. I just want to say, Lisa, it was a great time to come back, especially for the meeting. It meant a lot to a lot of people, what you have done for the township, what you've done to help everybody. Senior Center was yours. You contributed so much over the years. You're trustee and everything else. We couldn't ask for a better boss.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? Okay, very much, Jim.
Well, I would be remiss if I didn't mention once again Laura, the fantastic job she did at the Campville Fair. The help with our road department, putting up our display. I joke that it's a blue ribbon winner every year, but it is. I take a moment to walk around, and I don't say it because I represent Austintown, but when you look at the displays and the time and effort from the photographs that's put into it to the newspaper articles, and I thought it was really nice that we paid tribute to Robert Bishop, and I thought that was really nice that it was a nice testament to those individuals. So, Laura, thank you for doing that. You know, it's one of those ones that
You don't have to do it, it's not part of your job, it's not a job requirement, but you've taken ownership of it since Lisa has left. So thank you for continuing to do that. So I gotta tell you, man, I'm gonna try to get through this without crying, but Pat, I gotta tell you, one of the greatest honors I have is when you asked me a couple years ago to be the MC for the 9/11 Memorial. You don't know what that means to me. When I travel, I travel with my daughter and we go all over. And one of the things that I take pride in is that, you know, I see people where you'll see somebody wearing a New York City Fire Department shirt, and everybody that knows me, I'm a talker, and that I love to talk to people. So I can tell you that just as of recently this year, I was in Disney World, and I was talking to an individual that had a New York Fire shirt on. And I said, do you live in New York City? And he said, oh yeah. I said, are you on the fire department? And he said, oh yeah. And he told me what battalion he was with, and he went on and on. And I said, oh, and I said, you never know with these guys, because everybody that goes on vacation in New York buys one of those shirts. And he says, oh no, he says, that's what I do. And I said, well, I gotta tell you, I said, I live in Austintown, Ohio. And he says, well, where's that? And so I told him, I said, we're just south of Cleveland, just west of Pittsburgh, right in the middle, about an hour each way. I said, and we have one of the few 9/11 memorials in the entire country. And that's not the only time I've ever brought that up, but I am so proud to talk about that memorial. And when you connect, and you can connect with those firemen there, and he told me about how long he'd been there and how many brothers he lost and sisters that he lost in 9/11. And I told him, I said, you've got to come up sometime and see it. I said, it's something that you've never seen before. I take a lot of pride in that. Not that Todd wouldn't do it anyway, but Todd gets harped on a lot to make sure that it's clean. And there's not a time that I haven't called him and asked him, hey, will you send the guys over to clean that up? And he's like, oh no, boss, we're on it. We've got that scheduled for this day. He's already got it marked on the calendar to know when he needs to be there, because he takes pride in that. But I got to tell you, the guy that you got sitting next to you, you know, there's some people in the community, just like me, they love me or they hate me. Well, some people in the community love or hate Sam Swager. That's hard to believe that we have our haters. I know that, but I can tell you this about Sam. There's not been a time that I haven't picked up the phone and called Sam Swager and said, Sam, I have a project I need some help with. Or I've got something that needs to be done. And just like today, we had our fireworks meeting at 4:30. Sam was sitting there. Austintown is blessed beyond words to have the people in this community that we do. Whether it's Bruce and Austintown Bounce that we honor tonight, whether it's the two of you. When you think about the things that we have in the Austintown community, can't thank guys like you. So from the bottom of my heart, sincerely thank you guys, because I look forward to September. I truly do. And I don't take you asking me to be the MC of that lightly. And I know that there's going to come a day you can't do it anymore. But I'll make you this promise, whether I'm trustee or not, that place will live on until I can't take care of it anymore. And that's my promise to you. It's on record. She wrote it down. Okay? So I want you to rest easy that someday when your time on earth is done, that memorial will still be. Okay? That's my word to you. And then the lady sitting next to you. Little did I know she's going to bring balloons. But I can tell you that I know she's always a phone call away. She is so much fun. I still get text messages every once in a while, like, what are you doing? What's going on? And I know we don't keep in contact like we should and like we used to. But she's always a phone call away, and I can bounce things off on her. Or she'll call me and she goes, are you listening to Ron Verb and what he's saying about you? No, I'm not, Lisa. I try not to listen. There's a saying, and I don't know that I should say it on public television, but it was that if I wanted to hear a rear end speak, I'd fart. So I try not to listen to it, but Lisa fills me in as to what he has to say. But it's always fun to have you come back to town, because I know when you're coming, we're gonna have fun. So thank you for bringing the popcorn tonight. That was quite a nice touch. And I gotta tell you, Doug, you know, you stepped in for her, and we talked earlier about Andy having big shoes to fill. I haven't seen you wear red high heels yet to a meeting. So I was gonna say, so well, listen, that's where I crown Royal on the table, and we had a big discussion about why ACTV didn't want to air that meeting. But so yeah, you in red high heels would be okay. Now, would the Board of Education frown upon it in Western Reserve? They just may. But you had some big shoes to fill, and Lisa, and I think you've done a good job. But
He is a girl, not be pretty.
but no. But I will tell you, I've been here 10 years, and I think she could probably still run circles around me. She did a great job for this township, and that is truly, when we talk about the people that we have had come before us, and that's one of the things that I talk about all the time, is that, you know, we have the ecumenical service on the 4th of July with Joyce Pogany, and, you know, Sam and Ken Carano and Dave Ditzler, they put on the fireworks displays. And one of the things that I always preach is that, you know, those people aren't going to be around forever. And it's time, when we talk about the younger generation, it's time for people like myself and other people, and I can't ask enough, you know, the people that are watching on TV or that are reading the newspapers, that if you want to get involved, if you want to clean a cemetery, if you want to pull weeds, do something. We have a great community, but it won't continue without the younger generation picking up where everybody else has left off. I've had some really good individuals to follow, whether it was Gene that was here earlier, but Dave Ditzler, Ken Carano, Rick Stoffer, they've all been here and have been good colleagues, and at some point have added a little bit to my fire, and it's been a fun ride. But there needs to be a new generation of people that come forward and continue to be a part of this community. Because we even see it with the veterans. You've got guys like Tony. Those guys aren't going to be around forever, so we got to make sure that we pick up so that we can continue to have these programs here in our community. So thank you guys for what you do. But younger generation, it's your time. Step up and continue to make Austintown a great community it is. So thank you. That's it. I took a long time, but that's okay.
At least I wasn't like Ken, just.
Yeah. Right.
Again, I remember when it was just an old baseball field, and that initial thought and beginnings that you guys had of making that a memorial park. And just watching you and all the work that you put into that in your group, it's truly, it's a great tribute to you and your committee and to Austintown to have that 9/11 memorial. Just used to be that old dirt field over there, it's not grass, but I remember many days going in there with baseball with young kids, and you guys just started to put together the park. And again, can't say enough about you and your group and all the veterans and the people who served over the years who benefited from that park. And last year, I thought Jim did a great job as MC. The program, it was my first year there, and a lot of other programs, but outstanding last year. Great. Can't say enough about it. And we're sorry you weren't there last year, but you'll be there this year.
You heard too hard before.
Exactly. At least you haven't aged a day. Colorado hair must be great. Your daughter's having a great husband. Again, can't say enough about what you do for the community, and you're the one who kind of got things started quite a bit. You kind of set the standard for what a lot of people are doing. But thank you for what you've done with the community. Also, I'd like to congratulate Coach Elliott and the Fitch Falcons. There's nothing better than meeting, and I'll say this in front of Jim. If he's ready. You ready, Jim?
I'm sorry?
Nothing better than meeting Boardman.
Correct.
Ursula,
Correct.
Mooney.
Correct.
One down.
Well, I gotta say though, because,
I know.
you know, Boardman, there's no questions.
Oh, there's no question.
Mooney, there's no questions.
Ursula's
Ursuline's a little bit,
township kid.
well, there's some Mooney Township kids, but we don't want to hold that against them, but Ursuline, number one, Laura is on our board, her kids go there, so I do have an Ursuline football shirt. I talked about flying home from Florida, and I actually wore my Ursuline football shirt on the plane, but my best friend, he's like my brother, went to Ursuline. So I was always at the Ursuline events, and he graduated a couple years after me. So I would go to all, because he played sports, so I would go to all the events, and Father Murphy would always say, you come here, why didn't you just go to school here? I said, no, I'm a Falcon. I said, I'm a Falcon, that's it. He goes, yeah, he says, one of these years we're going to make you an honorary graduate. And Mrs. Fleming, even when after I graduated, and I was involved with different businesses, I would always make sure that when Ursuline had an event, that I would donate to it. So even after that, I continued, once I got elected, of course, you become an elected official, people hit you up with for even more donations. So then I was donating more money. So they actually made me a class of 1998, and they made me an honorary graduate of Ursuline. And I have a diploma signed by the bishop, Father Murphy, and Patricia Fleming. So I'm okay with, you know,
Is that a finable offense?
Yes. It is.
Yes.
But I'm okay with Ursuline to a degree. But Mooney and Boardman, no.
I'll have to ask Lisa that question. Was that a finable offense? She should hear that. I'll say it. You said that fine. But again, congratulations, the Falcons are off to a good start, considering the very, very difficult summer they had when Coach Aaron passed. So again, he's up there watching over them and keeping an eye on them. And congratulations to them and all of our fall sports athletes who started everything and doing well. Also, our band is doing a great job again with the band show, as well as performing at halftime. Congratulations to Russell Carr. They're doing a great job. Russ was a good hire. Okay, at this time, I'll take a motion to recess to executive session for following to consider the appointment, employment, discipline, or compensation of public employees.
All right, so watch this, everybody. Ready? So move.
Second.
Mr. McLean.
Yeah.
Mr. Davis.
So we have one vote to adjourn the meeting. There was only two of us here tonight. If I vote no, we have a sleepover. If I vote yes, we all leave. Who's buying dinner? You. All right.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Yes.
No,
You.
In association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.